From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a huge Saturday morning here on Early Mornings LALATE as Chuck Schumer confirms my reporting and says we're starting the reconciliation. Congratulations, the reconciliation process for the fourth stimulus check update of 2021 is underway. The fourth stimulus check will go by reconciliation, and it starts right after Memorial Day weekend. I had reported this over the last week, and last night, Chuck Schumer confirmed that. In this recording, we'll go over the fourth stimulus check update of 2021, how much you're going to get, and why this is incredible great news. It's exactly as promised, and the fourth stimulus checks come thereafter. Then we'll go over the big exciting news about this stimulus and the big money landing in your bank account right now. $5, $10, $15, $20,000. I have all the incredible great details. It's a big morning. The toast is toasted. The butter is buttering. I'm here. You're here. But where is that bacon? I just don't see that bacon. Where is it? It's a big morning. Let's get to it on Early Mornings LALATE. Everybody, it's Early Mornings LALATE, and you can't have any better news than this. Chuck Schumer confirmed late Friday that the fourth stimulus reconciliation process begins after Memorial Day weekend. Told you. There we go. Away we go. In this recording, we have all the incredible great news that's earth-shattering about that fourth stimulus check, that monthly stimulus check. Then we'll go over fifth stimulus, the second half of this recording, and the big money and land in your bank account. But first, how are you? How are you doing? How's the weather where you are? Where are you tuning in from? And how's the weather? Drop in the comments. I'd love to see it. Yesterday, we had viewers all the way as far as Japan tuning in to the live show. Wonderful. Overnight shows is great. So love to have you part of this family. And this is LALATE, the only 24-hour a day, 7 days a week financial news channel. I'm with you all the weekend long. So I'm here every single day this weekend. Same programming schedule. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoon, so I didn't want you to miss a single video. Hit that subscribe button. 400,000 subscribers for a reason. The best darn channel there is. Next up, 1 million. YouTube record. Also, like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. In this video, we can go over all the fourth stimulus check news and the breaking news, of course, from Chuck. It's a big morning, and let's get to the details starting right now. The fourth stimulus has two approaches to how to deal with those stimulus checks, and the first one comes from Jalapal. Jalapal wrote the House bill, which provides a monthly stimulus check, and we can compare that against the Senate proposal, starting right now. So Jalapal's bill provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal provides a stimulus check from now to December. But if you're watching me 4 a.m. on the West Coast, God bless you. Get a cup of coffee. It's a little early. But if it's 7 a.m. on the East Coast, get ready to vote House or Senate. And if you're watching me tape later in the day, you can drop in the comments as well, House or Senate. But don't vote yet. I want to go over some details. And first, the monthly amounts is the issue. House bill provides $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. The Senate bill is unknown, but word on the street is it's this. Yes, wow. Word on the street is the senators want to give you $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000, that's per person. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400, that is per person. Now, before you vote, let's go back to one of the big issues that is unsettled and unearthed is how many more months are left to the pandemic, or are there any more? Insiders believe that the legislators may contend that the pandemic is over for legislative purposes, which would mean that the stimulus bill from Jalapal would provide 1 year stimulus checks. Not pandemic plus 1 year, but 1 year. That's 12 checks. And under Jalapal's bill, 12 checks is $13,000. How does that compare to 6 months under the Senate proposal? With this, now vote. Get ready and vote. Tell me where you're watching me from. If it's Japan or the United States or wherever it is internationally, vote House or Senate. I had one viewer tuning in from Puerto Rico as well. House or Senate, and drop in the comments where you're tuning in from. Let's go over the other items you need to know about fourth stimulus starting right now. First, who gets it? You do. You do. So for a stimulus check, 75,000, single individual or less, you get it. Husband and wife, married couple, you would get it double the check. That's 150,000 or less. A household, four or less, you get the fourth stimulus check, quadruple it. And yes, if you're on benefits, you are getting the fourth stimulus check. So congratulations, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. Wow. Is the check taken out for child support? Don't know that. Is the check taxable? Do know that. It's not. It's not income. Would the fourth stimulus check come out in waves? No, it would not, because they don't have time to do it. Remember, they're legislators. They make representations, not me. And they represent the vote would be no later than July 4th. That would mean that you would get the fourth stimulus check in the month of July for the month of July, in the month of August for the month of August. The stimulus check, moreover, would be the same amount for adults, as adult dependents, as children across the board. That's your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. But we ain't done yet, boy, because I got that exciting news from Chuck. I have the exciting, great news that came also yesterday, and no less than 8 other breaking news stories about this fourth stimulus over the last few days. That is coming up in just a second. But first, let me give you a preview of the second half of this video. In the second half of this video, we are going over that fifth stimulus. And that fifth stimulus, as you know, raises your benefits up and then applies a new benchmark. The benchmark is inflation. But on Friday, we saw a brand new number that signals how wonderful this is going to be. And that is coming up in the second half of this recording. But let's cut to the big money that you can get right now. And boy, I got to commend you folks. You are doing really well. I was saying no less than 2 days ago that I go about every 3 hours with a person that has a success story. Now we're not even going 2 hours on getting a message on social media or seeing a live chat or seeing the pinned comments. I got money here. I got money there. You are killing it. And if you got money, I want you to get more. If you haven't, you're going to tune into this right now and get a pen and paper ready. I got a lot of money to get you over this entire video, and it's starting right now. $350 billion was landing all this last week in your city, counties, and states across the country. And that's from third stimulus for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners utilities. More is landing next week. So what can you get? Number one, that rent. Wow. $5,000 for rent. So go get it. It's about 4 to 6 months of rent. Hope you got that pen and paper ready. I'm going to go over it with you right now. Where do you get it? You're going to look at 6 places to start. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. Keywords you're going to use is rent assistance because of COVID. That's it, rent assistance because of COVID. Then you're not going to say stimulus. You can say Biden Economic Recovery Act. And guess what? Every location has different eligibility. So if you get a no at one, you go to the next one to get a yes. We don't take no on this channel. We get the yes. And countless viewers. I think in the last 24 hours, I had about 10 people say they got something. So we are killing it. I want you to do the same. Money for rent, utilities, homeowners utilities as well. All right, I got other money for you, and boy, it is exciting. It is SNAP. It's about $16,000 for a family of 4 in Hawaii. Why so much money? What is it, and how do you get it? Let's go over all the details. It is money for food. It is money for food. The administrator is the Department of Agriculture. So where do you get it? Department of Agriculture. Or call 211, get connected over. How much money can you get? A family of 4 in Hawaii now gets $16,000 a year. Wow. Why so much? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raised it for 15% for 1 year. So boy, go get that money for SNAP. Money for SNAP, then money for rent. We are only 9 minutes into this video. We are doing really well. $5,000, $16,000. But guess what? I got other money for you. And I got 2 of them right now with some breaking news about one of them. So let's get to it. First, there is money available for you coming back from your states. I'm going to go over how much money this is, then how you get it, and when you get it. All right, first, how much money is it? It's a lot. One viewer got $5,000 from it. So the federal government has identified states as overpaying you unemployment benefits at some time in the last year due to computer malfeasance. And then the federal government has now ordered those states to return that money back to you after the states previously asked you to give them back the money. Wow. So that is the money. Second, how do you get the money? The states will be routing the money back to you in the bank account you have on file with them. And finally, when? Every state is different, so you got to reach out to your respective state for routing times. Some states have started, some have not. And guess what? I got some other big money over here, and it's coming from IRS, from Treasury. Now, we also have breaking news about this one, and this one is really surprising. Yep. So let's go over when you're going to get it, how much you're going to get, how you get it, when you get it with the breaking news, and how to track it. Okay, first, how much money is this? It is the amount you paid on taxes to IRS for your 2020 unemployment benefits. So here's an example. Your total unemployment benefits in 2020 was $9,000. Your total tax bill is $5,000 to IRS. But of that, only $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment. So guess what? You're getting back $4,000 from IRS. Congratulations. All right, next, how are you getting it? In a beige or white envelope, in the mailbox. In the mailbox. Watch for that mail. It is a laser thin envelope, and you can miss it. So it will be landing anytime in the next 2 weeks of June. So you don't want to, you want to go surgically through that mail every day to make sure you don't discard it. All right. Next is how are you going to get it, and when are you going to get it? So the when is the following. All the checks were told to us by IRS to be sent out by the end of May. Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3. Well, earlier this week, one major TV channel reached out to IRS to ask, has IRS sent out the actual checks? And they got no response. Now, I know viewers who have been reporting they've gotten the check. One viewer got $2,000. So I want you to understand is that they represented they would send them out by the end of May, not that you would receive them by the end of May. So watch that mail the first and second week in June. And with that, guess what? I got some exciting news. No less than 9 breaking news stories about this fourth stimulus check and fourth stimulus package. Boy, you know how we do it on this channel. I am a hawk with this news, so I give you every breaking news. We started with 1 story, then 3 stories. Now we're up to 9, and it came in last night. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over chronologically how from the beginning all the way up to where we are now, and the breaking news late last night. And I'm going to show you really how it has snowballed and how they have really stayed exactly on timeline of how they represented. All great news. Really great news. All right, let's start with Jalapal. Jalapal wrote that House bill that provides a monthly stimulus check for the pandemic plus 1 year, monthly, $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. And when Jalapal wrote that House bill, which was introduced to the House floor, over 100 plus House Democrats wrote the president a letter saying, we are going to do this in the fourth stimulus package. That was how it started. And then it snowballed. When Jalapal last week wrote this letter to Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi saying, call the vote. Call the vote. What are we doing? Basically, Jalapal said we shouldn't wait any longer for Republicans, just call the vote. And guess what? It got even better. It got better. That the letter is co-signed by almost a dozen House Democrats that are among those who wrote the president that letter saying, we're going to do Jalapal's bill for those multiple stimulus checks. Wow. Wow. So there's Jalapal telling Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi call the vote. Then a week ago Friday, this letter surfaced. This letter is just it's inspiring. The letter is from 7 Democrats in the House to the President of the United States. And what does the letter say? It says, we're going to work with you to put the fourth stimulus, those monthly stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Now, work with you is a euphemism because the president doesn't write laws. He just recommends things. These people actually write the law. Well, who are they? These are the actual people in the House who are on the committee that is tasked specifically and exclusively to write about stimulus checks. And they wrote the president saying, we're going to be putting multiple stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Oh my God, we can't get it any better than that. I mean, that is just jaw-dropping. The people who are in charge of writing about fourth stimulus checks wrote the president a week ago and said, we're putting them in the fourth stimulus package. Oh my goodness. Is Captain Obvious walking through this set yet? If he isn't, he needs to get over here right away. So, Lauren, bring him in here. And then a week ago Friday, the president did this. The president of the United States said that I'm going to give it till I'm going to give it to the weekend of Memorial Day weekend. And after that, I am not having any more negotiations with the Republicans for bipartisan support. Well, guess what? We're over. By all accounts, the president has promised us that there would be no more bipartisan negotiations after yesterday. I have more about that in a second. But the president also said, call the vote. The president also said, call the vote after the Friday before Memorial Day weekend. Don't hold up for me any longer. I'll talk with whoever I want to talk with, but don't hold up the vote. Wow. And then Tuesday had incredible great news, but a little bit complicated, so I need to slow it down for you. On Tuesday, the President of the United States did the following. He said, I spoke to those leaders of the G7 countries, and I spoke to them about the global tax rate. And guess what? They agreed tentatively to 15%. Okay, what is that about? The forced stimulus is paid for by the U.S. corporate tax rate being raised from 21% to a higher percentage. The president initially wanted higher, but the moderate Democrats got him to come down, and then he said, deal, there you go. So what is this global corporate tax rate? The global corporate tax rate is if you moved your business, let's say, from New York to France. Well, the president got the G7 countries to tentatively raise it up so that companies would not leave the United States because the other countries' corporate tax rate is now higher. But it got better. It got better when the president reportedly told insiders by the end of that Tuesday briefing that if after forced stimulus goes out into law, if he can get those G7 countries to actually sign on the dotted line at a 15% global corporate tax rate, he will come back and slash our U.S. corporate tax rate, reduce it back to where it is nearly right now. Oh my goodness, that is just incredible. And it got even better on Thursday, as if it could get any better on Thursday, when the Senate Democrats came forward and said, we have now received a counter proposal after 2 months from the Republicans. That was a fraction of what the president said. And the Senate Republicans said, no deal. We're going to a vote. That was Thursday. Then Friday, just late yesterday, Chuck did exactly what he was to do. He said, the president can have lunches with whoever he wants. He's a grown man. But we're the legislators. We're in the House. We're in the Senate. And we're going by reconciliation. Boy, away we go. He said, we are doing it, and we are going to be done with it, and it's going to be law before the summer break. And guess when the summer break is? Early July. So there you go. He says, we're doing reconciliation. The president may continue to talk to people, but we are doing it our way, and we're getting it out the door. Jalabal, where are you? Can I send you some bacon? Thank you, Jalabal. Thank you, Jalabal. And there you go. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Coming up in the second half of this recording, I'll have more about that forced stimulus, but more importantly, the timing of the vote, because it's important for you to learn how voting works on reconciliation. It's not a one-vote process. So I'm going to explain that later in the video. Incredible, great news. And then we're going to go over more about that fifth stimulus and how it's going to change your life. But in the middle of this, coming up before the commercial break, I want to go over this. I want you to get that money for rent, utilities, and homeowners assistance. I want you to make that effort to really get it. But if you can't find it, then reach out to the volunteers on the community page. They are salt of the earth. They are viewers just like you who have stepped forward to help others. And how do you find the community page? In the description to this video. Open the description and go to where you see an emoji of a house. There is a link to a web page, and it says community page. On that web page is a picture of some cats, and below those cats is the volunteers who have stepped forward and help you to get that rent, that utilities, that homeowners' help, and that homeowners assistance. That's how this channel does it. This is the only channel that helps people. We have helped people from day one. It is always pay it forward. We help one another, and that's why people sometimes can't deal with the success of our helpfulness. I want you to understand how we have, on a Memorial Day weekend, which is important for respecting what was done for people serving our country, I want you to understand that these volunteers also help you as well. And that is the spirit of this channel. And I look forward to seeing you at the commercial break. We'll be back in 60 seconds with big, exciting news about that forced stimulus checks unfolding, and big, exciting news about the stimulus. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues all weekend long. I will be here with you as we start the reconciliation for the fourth stimulus package. Away we go. The toast is toasted, the butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing, and the reconciliation is heating up. I told you it was going to happen. I told you the day. I told you the moment, and it happened exactly on point. Who gets it right for you? It's this channel. Thank you for joining me on Early Mornings LALATE. Subscribe, 400,000 subscribers, a reason. A YouTube record in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. Hit that subscribe button. Share these videos on Facebook, Reddit, and Instagram. Also, like this video. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. The link's at the top of the chat. And later in this video, I'll explain the importance of that membership. Boy, what a morning it is. I am really excited for you. And let's get right into this stimulus without any delay. Fifth stimulus is in September, and it changes your life because it raises your benefits up. And we're going to see why those benefits may be higher than we ever thought before. First, they're going to raise the benefit limits up. Then they're going to remove the asset limit, add an inflationary benchmark, then remove the income exclusion and remove the marriage penalty. All right, let's go over the analysis of this and then understand why Friday's breaking news was really good for this once again. How does this work? First, they're going to raise your benefits up. Who's you? You, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, they're going to raise your benefits up one big time. Next, they're going to apply a benchmark. And that benchmark is inflation. Now, we all know what inflation is, but how does a benchmark work? Let me explain. Every December, you get a letter that says, next year, your benefits are going to step up or stay the same. It's based upon a benchmark. And so now we need to know what inflation may be around November when they write that letter, December. Well, initially, Jeremy Siegel from Wharton School of Business said it could be 20%. That might be on the high end. The head of the Federal Reserve out of Georgia said, looks like we're heading from 4% growth right now to about 10.5% by then. Oh boy, that looks like about 4 to 7%. Then over this last week, we saw analysts talk about 4 to 7%. And then the breaking news. Yesterday, more economic data came in, and a new economic data benchmark came in and basically said the inflationary rate last month was higher than the Federal Reserve anticipated substantially. So it shows even early part of this year where we're building up, before it gets actually higher later this year, it's building up very quickly. I mean, if you go to the supermarket like I did yesterday, I went to buy a package of tortillas, and they are normally 80 cents. And they've been 80 cents for 5, 6, 7 years. They were $1.25. Now, they didn't just become $1.25 during the pandemic. They just became $1.25 now. Imagine going 80 cents to $1.25. That is far more than 20% inflation right there on one item. So you see how this is incredible, great news. How is this good news? Let's show you how this works. In December, you get that. First, they're going to raise up your benefits under fifth stimulus. Then you're going to get that letter in December that says your we have now determined you're going to step up based upon the inflationary rate. So let's say the inflationary rate was 6% December. They would raise up your benefits under fifth stimulus and then raise them up again at 6%. But not just for 1 year, lifetime. What's important to understand is that when they raise up your benefits, they never step down. They either stay the same the next year or they go up higher. So if the year after that, the inflation rate is 0, you still stay at plus 6%. If the year after that, it is 2% inflation, you go to 6 plus 2. This is jaw-dropping. Why? Because this is incredible that legislators want to tie you to inflation, because the inflation rate this December is expected to be the highest of a generation. And once you step up, you have that rate your entire existence on planet Earth. Boy. All right, let's cut to the other items of that fifth stimulus, and they are the money for the asset limit's going to go away. So the asset limit's dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 on a bank account. It's going to go away just in time to get those stimulus checks. Then they're going to get rid of that income cap dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't make money and stay on benefits. It's going to go away. So $1,000, $2,000 a month, you can make it and still stay on benefits. And finally, they're going to remove the marriage penalty. Awful. The marriage penalty is horrible. It prevents you from getting married because of fear of going to lose your benefits. It's going away. So you'll be able to marry your lifetime love interest and not lose benefits. You will be able to be married and not suffer the marriage penalty, and love will win. Wow. Now, fifth stimulus, in addition to the stimulus check, in addition to this, SSI reform, starts in September. A two-step, 2-month process, reconciliation as well. And you'll see the benefits hit your bank account about November-ish, and then that letter in December for next January. But what else is in fifth stimulus? Well, in a given recording that's 30 minutes in length, and I'm already at about 27 minutes, there's not enough time for me to go over all these items in these stimulus packages. But ironically, the fifth stimulus package is called by the President of the United States the Family Plan, but there's a lot of money in there for single individuals. How do you find out what's in there? By being a member. The member link is at the top of the chat in the pinned comment. Members get access to all the items which are in the stimulus packages. And it's very helpful as we get close to the finish line because there's a lot of things that are overlapping. For example, in the fifth stimulus, there's money for single individuals who do hazard pay, money for single seniors as well. It's not just a baby's bill. Fourth stimulus heats up this summer, with that fourth stimulus check going out at least in the month of July. Well, guess what else goes out in the month of July besides the fourth stimulus check? The third stimulus check. And it's very easy to get confused because so many things are happening in July. There is also a budget bill in July, which is not the stimulus package. You may look at it and get confused. There's also standalone bills from Jalapal that could get called for a vote that are not this. It's very easy to get confused. And that's why daily I deliver all the details of what's in the third, fourth, and fifth stimulus to you. A new political report revealed that 50% of Democrats that support the president admit to having no knowledge of what's in the fourth or fifth stimulus package. Can you imagine? And that those that have some knowledge say that they literally still have really almost no idea what's in the fourth or fifth stimulus. That's why knowledge is information. I want you to know all this information. And with that, I want you to know how reconciliation voting works. I also want to go over Chuck Schumer's statements as well. So how does reconciliation voting work? Well, it's very different than what you saw in November. If you were with me in November, I changed U.S. history, and you helped. I said, let's try to get stimulus into the continuing resolution. It was solely my idea. No one was talking about it. And I started the campaign CR for Stimulus. I changed history, and you did it as well. We got stimulus in the CR, but initially, then they wouldn't put stimulus checks. And I made the push, and you continued it, and they got those stimulus checks into the CR because of only this channel. Well, if you remember also, that was all a very quick turnaround time. It was no less than about 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I don't even think it was 3 weeks. I think it was 2.5 weeks. And they got those checks done. Now, if you were with me in January for third stimulus, that reconciliation, it was not 2 weeks. It was a long time. It was a lot longer time. And so why? Let's go over why reconciliation takes more than voting for a day. Why am I doing this? Because I want you to know going into next week, I expect some people who are not subscribers at least be a subscriber. At least be a subscriber. I know that some people who are not subscribers are going to say, when are they going to call the vote? I need them to vote and send out the check. That's not what a reconciliation is. It is not one vote and then the check goes out. It is not someone handing the check and signing it and it goes out. Reconciliation requires several votes, so let me go over them right now. Step number 1 is doing the procedural bill, and then step number 2 is doing the substantive bill. Let's go over step number 1. The subcommittees of the House of Representatives have to vote on the procedural aspect. Then the main vote on the House floor is called on the procedural bill. That's the second step. The third step is they have to send it to the Senate floor, to the senators. They won't send it back to a subcommittee because it's just procedural. That's 3 steps. Then they have to sign it, sends the president to sign. That's 4 steps. Now they go back and pick up the tow hitch. They have to send to the subcommittees, like the House Ways and Means Committee, which you heard about earlier in this video, the bill to finish that language. That's the 5th step. Once the subcommittees of the House finish that step, they have to send it to the House floor to call for a vote. That's the 6th step. The 7th and 8th steps are they send the bill to the Senate, and then doing a 2-day vote-a-rama, they can propose amendments. And then finally, the president signs into law. Notice that? That was 9 steps. Yes, there's enough time to get it done between now and 4th of July, but it's not a 1-day vote. And so I want you to be informed about that. People are asking, how quickly can they get this done? Moreover, what's important to understand is you're going to see a lot of confusing messaging and a lot of vague messaging. And what's important to understand is that you may certainly see next week the President of the United States having a lunch randomly with a Republican. So that's why Chuck Schumer basically made his statement relatively vague on Friday, saying that the president can continue to chat with whoever he wants to chat with, but we are doing it with or without Republicans, aka a reconciliation bill, and we will be finished before the break, which is, of course, July 4th. There you go. Exactly as so promised. Let's get to it. And with that, I want you to subscribe. This is LA, and boy, right now, currently airing on the channel is the live overnight show, 12 hours of live crypto. So jump into that show right after this. Then join me on Mornings LA at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I got the whole fleet of programming today. Same schedule. I'll be here all weekend long. I look forward to you joining me. We'll have a lot of fun, and we'll have some laughs. So jump in all about the live chat. So hit that subscribe button, like this video, consider becoming a member, or at least subscribing, and stay with me. I'll see you at 9 a.m. on Mornings LA. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA.